Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hopefully you guys are away from all the chaos that's going on in multiple cities right now. It is absolutely insane, okay? But hopefully this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that, all right? But oh my Lord, a lot is going on right now, okay? There is a lot going on. There are demonstrations and protests popping out from all over the nation. Real talk. Nationwide protests and riots going on since yesterday. And now new places, new cities are popping up with protests and demonstrations as well. This is getting really, really crazy, guys. So, before we get into everything, please do me a favor, all right? Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on those other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you're following. All right, hit that follow button over there. Make sure you're subscribed here on my YouTube channel, my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Make sure you're subscribed over there, okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We're going to get straight into this, guys, because there's a lot going on. Okay, there's some catching up that we need to do from yesterday. It has been absolutely crazy, okay? There have been quite a bit of, protests going on throughout the country. And what I mean by that is there are some serious anti-ICE protests going on. Now, it spawned from LA, and now we're seeing it in New York. We're seeing it in Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Chicago, even St. Louis as well. And I'm sure I haven't even named all the cities where there's been some sort of protest or there's been some sort of riots going on. It has gone nationwide, everybody. It has gone nationwide. It is absolutely insane, okay? And of course, it's not slowing down anytime soon. That's just the feeling I'm getting. From what I've been seeing recently, there have been a lot of really, really angry people out here, and they have their right to have their voices heard as long as they do it peacefully. Am I right or am I right? Doesn't matter if you agree. Doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. It's their First Amendment right to get out there and shout to the heavens what they think, right? As long as they do it peacefully. But overnight, there has been quite a bit of these rallies that have formed into basically riots, mayhem, people looting, etc., throughout specific cities. Not all of them. Some of them have just had peaceful rallies or peaceful protests, okay? But some of them, like LA and New York, kind of ended up in absolute mayhem, okay? So again, we have got to talk about this. Obviously, there's some new updates. There's some things going on. So we're going to get straight into this. There's a lot of footage to look into. There's a lot of footage from multiple cities and multiple areas that we're going to be looking at as well. And yeah, Tyler, you ain't wrong. They ain't stopping. Okay. They ain't stopping anytime soon. I have a feeling this weekend is going to be insane. It's going to be a crazy weekend. There's going to be a lot of chaos. I think there's going to be a lot more. That's the thing. People have more time on their hands over the weekends. Okay. Which kind of is crappy because it's Father's Day weekend, y'all. This is not the time to be doing this. Okay. This is the time to just be thankful that, your daddy, didn't wear a condom. You know what I'm saying? But no, we're not doing that. Not at all. Not at all. Okay. Not today, Satan. Or not this weekend, most likely. They are literally going to be like, Dad, you're just going to have to wait for that for that tie and that 12 pack of tube socks, okay? And that hearty handshake and that pat on the back saying, good on you, Dad. I'm glad you were able to finish when you did. Because without you finishing, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So, just saying, it's the truth, you know? Mom, Dad, thank you so much for letting this happen, right? Letting all this happen, you feel me? Because without both of them hopefully having a good time when you were conceived, there would have been no conception. Okay? I know. This has nothing to do with the riots, okay? This has nothing to do with the protests, but we're about to get into some very serious, heavy stuff here. So I'm just throwing in some jokes. But real talk, take some time. If your dad is still on the planet, show him some love this weekend. He might really appreciate it. In fact, he might need it, all right? In fact, put down your rocks, your flags, even your Molotov cocktails. Join hands and show appreciation for your fathers, okay? Because fathers need love too, dagnabbit. Just for that one day, everyone just put all your spears, sticks, rocks, Molotov cocktails, makeshift sawed-off shotgun, whatever you made, put it down for a second. And just go, you know what, Dad? I'm glad you came. There it is. Thank you, because I would not be here. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay? Yeah, I said spears. So yeah, exactly. Hold hands and sing Kumbaya for your dad. Okay? We already did the mom, so you already know. You already know. I said thanks to the mamas, because without y'all, we would have nothing, right? Ladies, real talk, mamas, you make the mother-loving world go round. Okay? Shout out to you. I already did this. Shush. I already did this BS, man. Okay? But now it's for the fellas. Now it's time for the fellas. All right? Especially the ones that stick around. Come on now. The ones that stick around, they matter the most. Okay? So, anyway, let us get into this. Okay? We have got some serious things we got to talk about. For real. This is crazy. Nationwide is on your side. Sorry, that's been sitting in my head every single time I say nationwide. I go, is on your side. But anti-ICE protests are spreading throughout the country. And I feel like by the time we hit Father's Day, it's going to spread even more. Okay? Yes, this is even worse than the pandemic. I'm just being funny. I'm just being funny. Seriously, that's a joke. But seriously, it's spreading like wildfire. That's not a funny joke either. I can't even make that joke because LA had been through some things. LA's been through some things, and now LA's back on fire again. Okay? LA in fuego. But if I said I can't even say in fuego because next thing you know, I got ICE barging into the studio and taking my ass for speaking in Spanish, in Espanol. So I'm screwed. But I will say, LA is on fire. Okay? Even more than ever before. Because people are very angry out there and their feelings have caught on like the Rona. So let's take a look at this. So, ICE protests, live updates, okay? Over 200 arrests. We've already heard there's way more than that now, like 400 some odd arrests so far. Nationwide, though, okay? Nationwide, okay? National Guard deployed in Texas now as rallies continue, of course, nationwide. So, again, yes, you must protect me at all cost. Are you kidding me? You must protect me at all cost. America. Okay? Okay. Man, if I started speaking to Ebonics, everyone would be like, what are you talking about, bro? Huh? What do you say? Is that English? Those words come out your mouth? So let's get into this, okay? So National Guard has deployed to Texas now. And I'm wondering if the governor was cool with that too in Texas. What's the governor's name again? I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? You know, he's in the wheelchair now. Ain't he in the wheelchair? What's his freaking name? That's going to drive me crazy. But you know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm wondering if the governor, Abbott, thank you, Governor Abbott. I'm wondering if he's happy about that too. Yeah, Hot Wheels. I'm done. But I'm wondering if he's like, hey, Mr. Trump, hell no, not my state. We'll take care of our own. But apparently the National Guard has been deployed in Texas, okay? Which, of course, is interesting because they're saying ICE is preparing to deploy its special response teams in 5 cities run by Democratic leaders. I'm sorry. Like, listen, I'm not trying to get political here, okay? Yes, Rose, it is Governor Greg Abbott. Thank you. He's in the wheelchair looking like Dr. Xavier, Professor Xavier from X-Men, but still, it's all good. Let him do his thing. I still don't know why he's in a wheelchair. One day he was walking, the next day he's in a wheelchair. It was a very big change for me. I've always wondered what happened to him. But all thoughts aside, I think it's very interesting that these things are happening in Democratic cities. Okay? Just speaking out the obvious, okay? Before everybody's like, what you talking about? Don't you get at my man Trump for life, brother. I'm not sitting there saying anything like that. I'm just saying it's an interesting pattern, don't you think? Okay? 2 sources familiar with the planning of future operations told NBC News. So let's take a look at some of these updates here. Okay? So let's go back a little bit. I feel like we're reading the Diddy trial all over again, except this time we're not talking about Diddy. We're talking about immigrants. Okay. Illegals. All right. So let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So things calm as protesters gather in LA's Pershing Square. So businesses around Pershing Square in the downtown LA boarded up their windows and doors. Yeah, because they're getting ready for chaos, right? But demonstrators who gathered there this evening are thus far peaceful. Good. But several hundred people were at the place shortly before 5 p.m., with more arriving by the minute. ICE out of LA, National Guard go away is what they're chanting over and over again. And this was about 2 hours ago. I was even seeing this too. People are very upset. I get it. I get people being mad about this situation. I do. I get it. Do I agree with it? I leave that up in the air. Okay. I will say this. Nope. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. We're just going to sit on the fence for a while. All right. ICE raids have reached California's agricultural heartland, sparking fear among farm workers and their families. Yeah, from my understanding, a lot of roughnecks, okay? A lot of rednecks are very upset, apparently. That's what some people are saying. A lot of farmers, a lot of people that are out there that really utilize these particular individuals for whatever businesses that they have. They're apparently some people are feeling some type of way about this whole deportation, this whole ICE raid thing that's going on. Okay, let's take a look at this. You know, gotta love that. Give it a second. Care.com.
NYC's Jacob Sobroff. He is on the ground in Ventura County where ICE raids have been taking place. Jacob, what is happening in Ventura County?
Alicia, what's happening in Ventura County is what was happening in Los Angeles County over the course of the last couple of days. ICE enforcement actions in this mass deportation effort that had been announced and is now being executed by the Trump administration is happening right here in the beating heart of the Californian agricultural economy. Jenny Alvarez works for the United Farm Workers, and she's going to walk us through. She was here. You responded, right, yesterday to what happened out here?
Yes. Since I'm a volunteer with the Rapid Response Network, I got a call at 6 a.m. from one of my worker leaders that her friend was trapped in a packing house here on Laguna Road in Oxnard, California.
Is this the packing house? Come with me, Jenny. I want to show you, Alicia. So, Jenny, this is the packing house. This is the farm across the street, but this is the packing house. And you said someone was trapped here?
Yeah. So my friend, not my friend, my worker leader called me and she said her friend was trapped. She was really anxious about what was going on. And so I came here to just offer my support. I offered to take her home or follow her home if that made her feel a little bit safer.
Was ICE still here when you showed up on the location?
ICE had fled the scene because like 20 volunteers came over to just film and report and be legal observers.
They wanted to get into this packing facility.
Correct.
And so do you know anything about where they were, where the workers were? What happened exactly?
Well, I don't think they could get through because they had security. And that's a critical point in all of this is understanding how to protect your workers during this time. But afterwards, I think they fled and went into the nearby Navy base.
So let's just go back over here, Jenny, and tell me, so that like these types of fields, there's thousands of them in Ventura County, right? And there's tens of thousands of farm workers that work out here. You work with them as an organizer for the United Farm Workers. What is your, how do you understand what this means in this moment for this community? Because these workers are so central. I said the economy, not just the economy.
I got some questions.
They're the people that live here. They're the people that send their children to school here. You tell me.
Well, I think shifting the narrative is very important. They're not just workers. They're people. They're community members. They're students in our schools. They're our friends. And we visit them daily in homes. And we hear them worry about how everyday things are difficult to make decisions about. Do I go to my children's school to see an award, or do I stay home to be safe? And these are questions that people were dealing with yesterday.
We got to pause that really quick because fair use and all that crap. But here's another question I have. Okay, and here's the thing. I mean, whether it's MSNBC or if this was done by Fox News or CNN, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is important information to listen to, regardless, because it is a main concern that we should be thinking about. It's this question that I was about to ask. Once they get rid of everybody, right? Once they get rid of all the workers, all these illegal immigrants that are here, right? Who's going to take those jobs? Because, I mean, listen, I'm not sitting here saying that I have a solution. I'm not sitting here saying that I have an answer for everything. But that is a question that should be thought about, right? Because if there were people that were, let's be real, citizens of this country, right? Like, okay, if they were citizens of this country, do you think that they would still be having this job? And then if you really think about it, you start wondering how many of these are illegals. What's the ratio, right? What's the percentage? How many of them are illegals and how many of them are actually citizens of the country, right? Those are things I think we should all ask. Because again, that's what I'm saying. Farm workers, farmers, etc., are very concerned about this situation happening. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm not sitting here condoning hiring illegals or something of that sort, because that is not right. Okay. But at the same time, that is a massive amount of people that are leaving those jobs. And if there were jobs that American citizens were willing to take, then wouldn't it be more American citizens doing the job than illegals? You see what I'm saying? So I am kind of curious about that. It's just a question, right? I don't have the answer to it. I don't have the answer. But it is a question I think that even these farmers, etc., are worried about, for sure. Okay? But let's continue.
I attended a school ceremony with a farm worker because she was afraid to go and support her own child.
You're telling me that a farm worker that works in these fields wouldn't show up to her own kid's school because she was afraid she was going to get detained?
She didn't show up to pick him up for school today in the afternoon. I did because of the same reason.
Man, I mean, I almost don't know what to say to that. And like, if you could extrapolate, how often is that happening now, or how often will that happen in this community? Due to the fact that ICE, I mean, I personally saw, Alicia, I saw a CBP Black Hawk chopper circling here earlier today, the same CBP Black Hawk chopper that we had seen down around the Metropolitan Detention Center in LA over the course of the last couple of days.
Well, I think it's going to continue to happen if we don't engage and try to prevent and intervene in a respectful way. Yesterday, a farm worker was actually showing me a video of a helicopter also going around their field, and she was afraid and wanted to leave, but because they had closed the gate to keep them safe, they couldn't leave.
They're going.
Okay, interesting. We're going to move on though. But you know, the thing is that I think it's incredibly important to hear as many sides of the coin as you possibly can. Hear as many sides of the opinion or of the subject matter as you can. I listen to everything. Sometimes I'm listening to Fox News to hear what they have to say. Sometimes I'm listening to, or a lot of times I'm listening to right-wing media and left-wing media to come up with my own opinion about certain things. I think that's important for us to look at both sides. Not everything has to be an echo chamber, okay? You know, challenge yourself. Think outside the box. And also, I got to remind you, these are people's lives that are being snatched out of nowhere, right? I mean, as much as you don't agree with it, that's still a sad reality. It's still a sad reality. Those people come here. Like I said, I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying, looking at the situation, they're just all of a sudden working, doing their thing, thinking, you know, everything's fine. And then whoop, they're just getting snatched up out of nowhere. That's a terrifying thing. Regardless, that's terrifying. Okay. Am I saying it's right? No. Am I saying it's wrong? No. But I still think that in that situation, it's a scary situation to be in. Nonetheless. Okay. But let's continue on. All right. It's a sad thing. Yeah, Sabrina, it's just sad. If you just think about it, there are kids getting snatched out of school, okay? There are parents getting snatched away from their own kids, etc. Right? That is sad stuff. The human condition, us being humans, should matter, right? We should care about people. And the fact that that is a scary thing. We don't have to agree on why they're in this country, how they're here illegally. All I'm saying is how they're being taken. It's sad. It's just sad, y'all. That's all. It's just sad. So, California pastor says police pointed rifle at her during confrontation on church property. So, Southern California pastor said people who identified themselves as police pointed a weapon at her when she tried to talk to a man who was being questioned in her church's parking lot. The confrontation occurred after the officials from Downey Memorial Christian Church and others confronted a group of 5 armed men in plain clothes and tactical gear who swarmed a man sitting under a tree in the church's parking lot. Okay. So again, you know, it's a lot of chaos. I even saw a video yesterday that a woman was trying to get into her apartment complex, and she actually got hit with rubber bullets because, I guess, of mistaken identity or something like that. Okay, like just some crazy stuff, right? All right, San Antonio. Okay, so there are protests going on in San Antonio. Okay, so peaceful demonstrations are now swelling in size over there, which we're going to be looking at all of this here in just a little bit. Okay, but people are, of course, not happy. And I think it's only going to double, triple, quadruple over time, right? As we get closer, as we march closer to the weekend, it's only going to get more and more insane. Okay, trust and believe. Hold on, we're going straight into some more because I want to show you guys some stuff that's going on in Texas. We got some things to hop around, so let's rock and roll.
People in 2 of Texas's largest cities joined in the anti-ICE protests last night. You're looking at both scenes right here on your screen. Austin on the right.
And don't worry, we're going to get to the live stuff here very shortly. Okay.
That's where things got out of hand there. E-scooters were thrown across the road downtown, and people were seen knocking over traffic barriers. And then you have Dallas on the left side of your screen here. That is where police declared the gathering an unlawful assembly. Moments before our newscast, I spoke with Peyton May. She's a reporter from our sister station up in Dallas, KDFW. She shared hundreds of people gathered in a West Dallas neighborhood, Trinity Groves there, and there was at least one arrest.
The protest started at around 7 o'clock at night. It was in the west side of Dallas near the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge. There was around 100 or so protesters there. It started very peacefully with signs, flags, and then things started to get pretty contentious, escalate a little bit throughout the night. There were water bottles that were thrown by protesters, small fireworks that were lit, and then in turn, we saw some pepper bombs that were fired by police officers. So the protest lasted between 7 o'clock at night, around that time frame, and then police were trying to get people out at around 10 o'clock at night. They said it was unlawful assembly, so they were giving people, a certain amount of time to leave the area.
Meantime, buses.
Did you, forgive me, did you say about how many people were arrested or detained yesterday?
Hundreds. Well, there were hundreds that were there. There was only one person that was arrested. In terms of that person that was arrested, that's all that police have given us so far. They haven't said who that person is, what crime was committed. There's charges that are pending, of course. We don't know if there's other arrests that will be coming down the line later on. They've only given us one so far.
Was there any damage to any property or anything like that in the area at all?
Not that we know of right now. Of course, they're going to kind of open up a full investigation on that. I would assume down the following weeks, we'll learn more about if there was any damage. Really at the time, though, it was more getting people out of the area was kind of the focus, because obviously if you have hundreds of people inside a very, populated area of Dallas, it's moving people out, making sure everyone stays safe. So I think that was more of the focus of last night.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is this more so a heavily populated area of the city, more so a pretty popular neighborhood, you would say?
Yeah, I would say in terms of...
And I just want to show you what they have right now. This is what's going on in LA right now. Like I said, we're going to be hopping around a bunch of places. There's stuff going on in New York City. There's stuff going on in LA. There's things going on in San Antonio. And of course, there were some protests going on in St. Louis, but that was only for an allotted amount of time. And then, of course, allegedly, there's going to be some stuff going on in Chicago. And of course, there was stuff yesterday in Dallas and Austin that may be brewing again all over again today or tonight. So again, there is a curfew for LA. If I'm correct, there's a curfew for 8 p.m. if I'm correct. But so I'm going to read these. I got some things to tell you guys off camera, okay, off the screen. So I'm going to read this stuff here really quick. Protests over federal immigration enforcement raids and Donald Trump, okay, his move to mobilize the National Guard and Marines in Los Angeles are spreading nationwide. So remember, the National Guard has gone to Texas, okay? They've hit up Dallas and Austin, all right? But they're apparently going to 5 other cities in Texas as well, okay? Then you still have the National Guard in LA, and you have the Marines in LA as well, which is insane, right? So while many demonstrations against the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency have been peaceful, with marchers chanting slogans and carrying signs, others have led to clashes with police, hundreds of arrests, and the use of chemical irritants, okay, to disperse the crowds, okay? So there is a curfew in LA set for 8 p.m. So in an hour from now, curfew will be in full effect, okay? And this is only for downtown neighborhoods, okay? And it said it will remain in effect indefinitely. So if you're out there past 8 p.m., running amok, doing no good, you can get detained for that, okay? Which is, of course, insane. Hold on. This feed may have gone out, maybe. I don't know. Hold on.
Prosecute them.
Oh.
So hurling bricks, hurling cinder blocks,
Okay,
hurling
there's
fireworks will not be tolerated.
We're going to move
in
back a
this
little
world,
bit.
And they're going to people test to use their First Amendment rights of speech.
Hold on.
The guidelines
There's
of
a-
this curfew.
Looks
It
like
is
there's
for
a
1 mile.
looks like there's a press conference about to happen here in just a minute, or it is already in effect, but I ran it back a little bit so we could watch this as well together. Okay. But nonetheless, yeah. So yeah, the National Guard, all right, has been deployed in Los Angeles for sure. Okay. And of course, we heard about Texas, which is insane. Okay. But it's only going to get more and more insane. But let's see what they got to say over here on this press
New
conference.
message from Mayor Karen Bass will not allow fear to be used as a weapon against Angelenos who make our city strong. My administration is working with community organizations, legal advocates, and local leaders to ensure that every resident knows their rights and this has the support that they need. And again, this is the message there from the LAPD. At 8 p.m., a curfew will be in effect. Please see the highlighted map. If we're able to take this picture full here, we can show you just the area. It's a 1 square mile area there in to a lot of coverage there. Part of the city is square area. It does go around the highways there.
They literally have less than an hour. So everybody needs to disperse and leave in less than an hour, or definitely F around and find out it's about to go down. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay. Absolutely. Real quick, Becky, thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for the fantastic super sticker. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. Let's take a look at this. We got some more stuff going on, baby.
So again, as we're continuing to cover all of this here on Live Now from Fox, we also heard from District Attorney Nathan Hochman. He issued a stern warning a bit earlier today, saying, "We will track you down, we will arrest you." This was after Nathan Hochman announced charges against 8 individuals accused of instigating violence during these anti-ICE protests. These arrests stemming from actions that happened over the weekend. He announced these charges a bit earlier today in a press conference. Let's listen in as we're continuing to keep some of these live vantage points of these anti-ICE protests on your screen as well.
Well, thank you very much for coming today. I will be joined. My name is Nathan Hochman. I'm the District Attorney of Los Angeles County. You will hear after myself from Sheriff Robert Luna of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and then Jim McDonald, the Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department. Before I announce the charges, the state charges that have been brought that are tied to these immigration protests, let me first put an overview about the charges. The complaints and the information you will hear about the charges today are not evidence. Evidence has to be presented in a court of law. An individual is presumed innocent until and unless they are proved guilty in that court of law beyond a reasonable doubt. So the discussion of the charges today is just that. It's a discussion of charges and not ultimately, or it does not ultimately constitute evidence of the crimes that will be presented in a court of law. So I first want to start out with a thank you. On behalf of the District Attorney's Office, I want to thank the hundreds of law enforcement officers from the LAPD, from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, from their related law enforcement agencies that have come to Los Angeles to help out in this situation. It is not a situation, certainly, that law enforcement intended to actually have happen. Both the District Attorney's Office, the LAPD, the LA Sheriff's Department, and local law enforcement do not participate in federal civil immigration enforcement. I want to make that crystal clear. We were not alerted ahead of time that this was going to happen. We were not involved in the participation of it or the staging of it. We are not involved at all with respect to federal civil immigration enforcement. What happened, though, is that though the law enforcement has done its absolute best to protect individuals who wanted legitimately to protest, to use their First Amendment rights of speech, to peacefully assemble. And when I say law enforcement has worked incredibly hard, they have worked overtime to make sure that people who want to engage in this legitimate protest have the opportunity to do so. The district attorney's office equally will fiercely protect people's rights to peacefully assemble and peacefully engage in First Amendment protected speech. However, when that speech crosses over from protected speech into illegal conduct, the people who engage in that illegal conduct will be prosecuted. They will first be arrested, they will be prosecuted, and they will be punished to the full extent of the law. We have said this repeatedly. We've said this as a warning to people who are thinking about conducting these illegal acts, pretending that they are engaged in protests, but at the moment they engage in the illegal acts, they are no longer legitimate First Amendment protesters. They are criminals, and they will be prosecuted as criminals. If people want to hurl insults, we will protect that. If people want to engage in crimes, we will prosecute them. So hurling bricks, hurling cinder blocks, hurling fireworks will not be tolerated in this county now or ever. So when we talk about the cases that we are brought, I'm going to highlight 5.
Okay, we got the general idea. We're going to get straight to the meat and potatoes. I think we're all wanting to see the action anyway and see what's popping and what's going on out here. So that's exactly what we're about to do, baby. Okay, y'all are, I know y'all are like, where's the stuff? Where's the stuff that matters, man? I don't care about what how people are going to get punished for doing what they did. I want to see what they did. Then we'll talk about the other stuff. So I'm checking out this. This is from Status Coup. So let's take a look at this.
All right, so you can see up here, we have, I think it might be sheriffs behind an LAPD line. They are pushing this way already. Come this way. Be careful. The police have less lethal munitions they're firing. Be careful.
Oh, I feel bad for that Tesla.
We call for peace over the city of Los Angeles in the name of Jesus of Nazareth. For every single reporter, every single police officer, every single protester, every single person.
All right. So right now there are no police lines on First Street, which is behind us. There's only police in front of us. So not quite the kettle yet, unless they are going to bring officers in on the other side. They're walking forward right now. Aiden?
You guys don't have to go anywhere. Just accept Jesus. He wants to bring some peace. He wants to bring some peace.
Yeah, so the protesters are saying don't run, but walk fast because you don't want to cause a panic. Right now you have guys with the green 30 Miller Canyon spreading their out. Let's go to the sidewalk so we don't get hit.
Oh, snap.
They're holding the line right now. To right, you still see activists.
I mean, they're not playing.
The park, the cops are now pushing in on that. To our right here a little bit. They stopped themselves.
Sorry, I just wanted to fix it.
It's coming off, I know. Yeah, it's on its last leg.
Okay.
It's been a couple nights.
Yeah.
All right, they're running in. Let's see what's going on here. Here, let's follow this.
They're advancing pretty fast. They're advancing.
Over here. So over here, this is sheriff. Again, I want to mention the sheriff's department can always use tear gas if it escalates to that level. Right now, they've just been fought. I'm hearing rounds on the side over here. Where are they coming? So it looks like they've already kettled some folks in this area. We see some press back there as well. I don't know if they're intending to arrest the people. Yeah, it sounds like they're screaming, let them go here. All right, so they're saying let them out. So I'm guessing that they are going to do a mass arrest here in Grant Park of the individuals that got caught in that kettle that I was mentioning. When we were running out the back, I was trying to avoid that because I want to be able to report for the rest of the night. If I get caught in a kettle, they cannot hold me as I'm a credentialed press member, but they can take me off the street and stop me from finishing my night and monitoring things, which is a big problem. So it's best to avoid that. Shouldn't have to even try to avoid that, but here we are. Hey, Aiden.
Crazy, Why? Yo, why do they do that? Why does everybody do that? Like literally, why get up all up into their face like that? Like why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That's
This gun, but whatever. Wait, look at this guy. Here we have. Hey, bro, why do you have a face mask on? That's not policy for the department. Yeah, I guess you're going to ignore me, but that is not policy for the department. I'd like an answer from your commander. Here we have another sheriff in the back with his face covered, 3 or 4 of them. This is not LA Sheriff Department policy. Why are you guys covering your faces? God damn, sorry.
Crazy.
I mean, this is crazy.
Even in my videos, you're fucking not like.
Wait, me? What? Oh, I'm
at
crazy?
The federal building.
Oh,
the
yeah.
first day you were fucking up, and you were just standing. I was like, what a bad.
Well, one of the other reasons why they're saying that some of these cops are actually like covering their faces is fear of actually getting doxxed. That is something that is definitely a concern for a lot of people. But you know, we'll see what's going on. It is interesting. I mean, you got a guy who's got his whole face covered. Look at that, whole face covered, right? But some guys are really worried about getting doxxed. So that makes sense, I guess. But it's interesting. These guys just want to get hit. These guys want to get hit. I mean, I'm waiting for. Are they going to start? Are they? Oh no! Oh! Whoa!
Whoa! Stop! Jesus, you just hit me! I just got hit with a left lethal. Yeah, I'm okay. All right, I got hit with a left lethal. I'm okay. That's what the Kevlar is for. I have Kevlar tights on under my pants, so it didn't penetrate anything.
Was that an undercover cop?
We're about to get kettled this way. Come this way.
That was what the hell just happened? What was that? Who was that guy? That guy came out of nowhere and just tackled the dude. happened there? Why did that happen? What? Okay, see, now the chaos starts. Oh, my damn.
Is there a way out up there? Fuck, I don't want to get shot. Oh no, they've been shooting. They're shooting tear gas. Well, they can't arrest me.
Well, he got arrested.
All right, come on.
Why
Let's
did he have
back up.
Why did he have to throw that delicious zero sugar monster at the cop? Why did he waste that beautiful monster drink at the cop? Why did he do that? Clearly he was clearly drunk or something. He was on something, because clearly that it just makes no sense to get right up into the cop's face the whole time just to show how hard you are. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, right? And then that dude out of nowhere gets tackled. That was so random. Why did the guy tackle the dude? He must be undercover. That white guy that tackled that dude, okay, the guy in the white shirt that tackled him, he had to have been undercover. Why would he do that? And then they let him go. He walked. He put his hands up like this. And he's like, I was just, someone's like, I was doing it for you guys. I was just doing it for you guys. And then he walked. So he must have been undercover. But dang. Hold on. Everybody's asking me to rewind that. I don't even know if I could find it. That was so fast. That was so random. I could probably find it. And then we're going to have to go back to where we are. Okay, guys. Hold on. Right here.
Whoa. Zoom out a little bit sometimes.
It's like what are they, dropping bars? Look, why did he take the dude down?
Whoa! Stop! Jesus, you just hit me!
That's insane. Okay, wow. Definitely gang members. T's like, gang members. Yes, of course there were gang members, but at the same time, it's like, were they just that jacked up? Were they that jacked up that they thought they could just like go up there and have a cipher in front of the cops and then throw a monster drink at these guys? Like, they wanted to get locked up. You know what I'm saying? Special kind of dumb. Diggity damn.
Let's see what's going on over here. Hi, how are you?
Good. That was insane.
Why would you tell us to come back? Look up the LAPD memo on National Lawrenceville Legal Service. Ask your superior officer.
How are you? Are they going to mass arrest everybody? Is that what the plan is?
I think what they realized is that they gave us an egress route.
No, they didn't.
We all went the only egress.
You guys have been doing lots of out-of-policy things this evening. I'm not blaming you guys right here. I'm just saying.
I'm blaming them.
Are you? All right. I'm not. I don't think the group's monolithic.
You know what I also find very, very interesting is that all these guys are press. Some of these guys, clearly they're wearing press, some sort of medallion, some sort of proof that they are not part of the protest, right? They're not part of the protesting. They're there to cover the protest, right? But what I find very interesting is that they can walk around like it's like they walk around like they own the place in a way, right? Like, she's just walking around, just talking to people, getting really close to the cops and all that, paying no mind because she's media, right? Press is crazy. You just walk around, stand right there, right in the front, right there where the cops are, where they're all pointing their little, their pew-pews at, not, all the muzzles just straight down the line. They could stand right in front of it and be like, so how does it feel to be here? Does it feel good? You have anything to say? No, nothing to say. Love the outfit. Moving on. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. Crazy. Let's continue. I'm gonna be pulling up some more, but that tackle looked like it mother loving hurt. That dude hit the back of his head. You know what I mean? When he got tackled, he went down hard, y'all. All right, but let's continue here. Okay. Oh, she's a streamer. I don't know this woman. But I say shout out to Status Coup. Definitely check out their channel. I don't know anything about their channel, but this is some crazy, very close up type of content. I will say this, but you're saying she's not press, but she has press credentials. But you got to remember, see, press nowadays is within the eye of the beholder now, because I could get a press credential and go run around at these places filming stuff. As long as I have press on my shirt, I'm press. So when these people are running around with these kinds of medallions or these kinds of stickers or types of lanyards and stuff like that, I mean, shoot, that the internet has so many sites, right? They have so many channels and sites and all that aren't on TV. So press, that name, that word is very fleeting. So even so, an Instagrammer with 500 followers on their Instagram could literally get a press credential and be there and, boots on the ground in that, covering it and saying, I am press, covering it. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, the word is very fleeting at this moment, right? Because anybody can basically say that they're press now, right? You just got to fill out some paperwork and whatever, you know what I mean? So crazy stuff, but let's continue on. I got a few more things I want to pull up. Well, I got a lot more things I'm going to watch and pull up, but let's take a look at this. Okay. Oh yeah. You just have to be affiliated with the channel, right? You got to be affiliated with some sort of channel or affiliated with some sort of, press type of thing. And you can just basically say you're press. Real talk. I've seen many people do it with less followers, subscribers, maybe one or two videos on their channels. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, I'm press. And it's like, oh, really? Okay. Good on you, girl. Keep going. Everybody got to have a dream. Everybody got to have a dream. Let's continue though, right?
All right, so we're now getting a public safety alert. City of Los Angeles has declared curfew is in place from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. So this is similar to the alert that they sent out last night. My understanding is that the curfew zone is 1 mile around the Federal Detention Center. This is probably within that vicinity right now because we're right outside of City Hall. I don't know, what time is it? 7:18, so we're not at curfew yet. Too zoomed in. Zoom out more, I guess, more wide angle.
I think that's just because I was zooming to get what was happening back there.
Oh, and you forgot to. Oh, all right. Okay, guys, sorry that we were zoomed in for a while. We've been trying to get some of the less lethal munition shots and whatnot close up, and Aiden didn't realize we hadn't zoomed out again. Our apologies, we're now wide. So again, we are inside of an arrest kennel right now. It looks like there's maybe, 50 people. No, maybe more actually, because there's a bunch of people up here and behind us. Let's get out of the kennel. We don't need to be in here.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to give that a break. And I'm pulling up San Antonio. Like I said, we're going all over the world. We're all going all over the country right now. We got San Antonio in the house. But I can only show this to you briefly, okay? For various reasons. But here, let me just show you this. San Antonio right now. I wouldn't say it's anything profound that's going on right now, okay? But that's what's going on in San Antonio as we speak. Yeah, so just a quick reminder, curfew has been declared in LA. So curfew will be in effect in little bit, like in 30 minutes, okay? 31 minutes to be exact, but in a half an hour, this curfew will be in full effect in LA. So it all goes down on how the people in LA actually handle it. Think ish might hit the fan very quickly in LA in a half an hour, just so you know. Don't know anything yet about the about San Antonio, if there's been any curfew mentioned or anything of that sort, but of course we're going to keep an eye on those things as well. But no matter what, there is a lot of stuff going on for sure. Let's take a look. Whoops. Let's see what
Did not to do so. So
nope, that's not what we're looking for. Okay. But yeah, lots of craziness going on. And of course, I would just say, hopefully people just go home, once it hits 8 o'clock, their time, hopefully they just go, okay, we out. You know what I mean? One second, y'all. Going back over here to this for a second.
Oh. I don't know if you can. They're dancing up. I want to go up there and film it. They're probably going to yell at me. Oh, well. They're not going to let us go up there. I've had too many cop arguments this evening. I need to pick my battles.
That's what I think too, Cal. That's exactly what I think too.
Aiden? Hey, how are you?
I just got here.
Oh, I got trampled by a horse, shot a few times, but you know what? Wait, don't be an asshole.
I'm super busy right now.
Come on, man. You are like this all the time lately. All right, so they're backing him up this way, which is an interesting choice, I think. Not what I expected.
One second, y'all. Got a few more things we're going to pull up. Boom. We got another one called Dad's Gone Live. He says underneath his Marines ice in Marine. Okay, live ice in LA. Marines deployed. So let's take a look at this.
for those of you guys asking if I had food. I'm gonna try to get across the road if they let me, guys. Try to go over there. Right now we are on the line.
That's a whole lot of people, y'all. And I wonder where they're all heading towards. Because again, you know, they got like 20 minutes. So hopefully they're not in an area where the curfew is in full effect. But at the same time, if they are in the area where the curfew gets into full effect in in a little over 20 minutes from now, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really, really bad, of course. But let's see what's going on here. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Take a look at this. This is back over at the status quo, and they're
been an ongoing problem for a great many years here.
Maybe they're calling their moment.
So that answers that question. Also, Colin, Jordan, if you guys are in there, if you want to send me any super chats that have come in while we're sitting here, I'd love to address those, or any interesting questions from people, not just about tonight, but on the background of how we got here. I think we've talked a lot of bit about some of the flashpoints that have brought us to this place. Oh my gosh, Jordan, you're hilarious. I want to read this. So Jordan just sent me a text, says he wants to make a documentary of Tina just telling police to, well, I'll edit that part. You know what? You cannot be out here on the street covering protests and not eventually have heated exchanges with officers. It's just not possible. I mean, if that is the case, then, you know, you're just not doing your job.
Very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Hold on.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Mayor Karen Bass. We were at the Interfaith rally yesterday where she came and made a speech. And it was, you know, basically her talking about how Luz will be able to stop everything, that we can, you know, resolve the situation with nonviolence. She didn't mention any problems that have been going on with the LAPD. She didn't mention any of the previous nights.
Yeah, absolutely. So go around. Go around the backside.
What's happening? Did he just tell us to move after the other guy said we could stay here?
Oh, so if you guys are going to stay here, you need to go behind this tree.
So hang on. Your other colleague came over and said that we could be right here. We had a long conversation with him.
Who's that?
I think everybody's just waiting for 8 p.m. You know what I mean? I think everybody's just sitting and waiting for the next 20 minutes. They're just like, we are just waiting for the minutes to tick away before, you know, all hell breaks loose. But we're looking around for a few more things. Hold on. Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, everywhere, everyone is just waiting. Like cops are just sitting there waiting. They're like, okay, we can't mobilize until 8. But once 8 happens, once it goes ding, 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 8 o'clock, they will be mobilized. You know what I mean?
Police officers on horseback, we've got the LA County Sheriff here to be doing something.
Apparently, Mayor Bass is speaking right now.
How far the federal government can go in reaching in and taking over power from a governor, power from a local jurisdiction, and frankly, leaving our city and our citizens, our residents in fear. All of us represent cities in this region where immigrants are key, and if in some cases not the majority of the population. To have people live in fear like it is today is just unacceptable. So we started off by hearing the administration wanted to go after violent felons, gang members, drug dealers. But when you raid Home Depots and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you're not trying to keep anyone safe. You're trying to cause fear and panic. And when you start deploying federalized troops on the heels of these raids, it is a drastic and chaotic escalation and completely unnecessary. These aren't the criminals the administration is allegedly targeting. These are mothers and fathers, restaurant workers, seamstress, home care workers, everyday Angelenos trying to make a living. We've heard stories of unmarked federal vans parked near LAUSD school graduations, a U.S. citizen 9 months pregnant who was hospitalized after being detained by federal agents, and an apparel business in downtown LA raided, where many Korean and Latino workers work long hours to support their families. Let me just say that I am very proud to stand here with the mayors, the leadership of so many cities, But you should take note that the individuals that are here with me today are all leaders in their area, and we all stand in support and solidarity and call for the raids to end. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Lemons from the city of Paramount.
Thank you, Mayor Bass, for bringing us together today and for your leadership in this difficult time. I stand before you today as the mayor of Paramount, a proud, tight-knit community that has been deeply shaken by recent events. In the last few days, our residents have faced loss, uncertainty, and fear. For many in our city, this has been one of the most devastating moments in recent memory. Lives have been disrupted, families are too afraid to leave their homes, and the very places that once served as gathering spots for joy, like our beloved swap meet, have been marred by fear. As a vibrant gathering place for our diverse community, some are avoiding going to work. It continues to get worse as these loyal vendors are forced to stay away out of fear of losing their livelihood. For some, it's the only way they feed their families. To see everyone hurt like this is heartbreaking. Last night at our city council meeting, we heard from our residents. Their anger, their fear, and their uncertainty about the future is understandable. Not only did we hear it last night, myself and members of the city council witnessed the devastation firsthand that Saturday morning. We share the same anger, sadness, and trauma. Then to see the presence of the National Guard in our city, it only makes things worse and leads to unnecessary escalation. We can and will do better to serve and advocate for our immigrant population. I want to speak directly to the people of Paramount. We see you, we hear you, and we are with you. We acted last night and directed staff to create a special fund that will financially help our immigrant families affected during this challenging time. And it doesn't stop there. The City Council and staff are working tirelessly to develop other means of support and assistance, doing more to support our community. We will also be seeking out our residents who have been directly impacted so that we may hear from them and provide direct support. Paramount is resilient. We've been through challenges before, and we will rise together. We are also grateful for the regional collaboration that's happening right now. We cannot face this alone. This is a moment for cities to stand united, regardless of our boundaries, because when one community is hurting, we all feel it. To our neighboring cities, to the county, to the state agency, and to Mayor Bass, thank you for extending a hand to our residents. Your support means the world. And next we have Arturo Flores, Mayor Arturo Flores from Huntington Park.
Thank you so much, Mayor Lemons, for those remarks. Good morning. My name is Arturo Flores. I am the mayor of the beautiful city of Huntington Park. I myself am a combat veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I've served in the theaters of Iraq and Afghanistan in defense of this country and in defense of the Constitution of the United States. Militarization of immigration enforcement has no place in our neighborhoods. And the deployment of Marines on U.S. soil is an alarming escalation that undermines the values of democracy. As mayors across this region, we stand united in rejecting fear-based tactics that target immigrant communities and erode public trust. Let me say that one more time. We stand against these fear-based tactics that target immigrant communities and erode public trust. We call on federal leaders to uphold civil rights and end the militarization of enforcement and to pursue humane, community-centered solutions. Our communities are not battlegrounds. Deploying military forces and conducting militarized ICE raids in immigrant neighborhoods is not about public safety. It is about political theater that is rooted in fear. It threatens families, traumatizes children, and corrodes the foundational trust between local government and the people that we serve. I stand shoulder to shoulder with Mayor Bass and with my fellow leaders and fellow mayors here, and any leader who values justice over intimidation. We will protect our residents, we will speak out against unconstitutional actions, and we will continue to build cities where all people, regardless of immigration status, can live without fear. I understand that the deployment of 700 Marines out of 29 Palms, and I believe the unit is 27, have been deployed to the Los Angeles area. I have a message for those Marines who are probably watching. Brothers, I myself have fought in different theaters. I fought wars. And I will tell you this, the people that you are here who have been called foreigners are not foreigners. These are Americans. And when we lifted our hands and we swore the oath to defend the Constitution and to defend this country, that oath was to the American people. It was not to a dictator. It was not to a tyrant. It was not to a president. It was to the American people. And the people that are here in these communities, in the city of LA, and the cities that you'll hear from, are Americans. Whether they have a document or they don't, you're dealing with Americans. So please remember that. If you're ever put in a situation or asked to do something, remember, you are dealing with Americans. With that being said, up next, I'll introduce Mayor Judith Merlot from the city of Vernon. Sí, en español, mi nombre es Arturo Flores, yo soy el alcalde de la ciudad de Huntington Park. Estoy aquí hoy yo como veterano de los Estados Unidos, de la Marina, para decirle al público que lo que está pasando no está bien. Yo he peleado en guerras y yo tengo un mensaje para los marines, los 700 marines que están aquí en Los Ángeles hoy en día. Que las personas que hoy, que ellos van a ver, que ellos van a estar en Los Ángeles, no son personas que son de un diferente país, no son personas que son terroristas. Estos son personas que son americanos. Entonces nosotros como una comunidad tenemos que elevar nuestra voz y decir que este tipo de injusticia no se vale. Y el mensaje es que las personas que están aquí en Los Ángeles son americanos. Con papeles o sin papeles, somos americanos porque creemos en el sueño americano. Después quiero introducir al alcalde Judith Merlot de la ciudad de Vernon. Gracias.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, for having us. As Mayor of the City of Vernon, I want to reaffirm our city unwavering commitment to the safety, dignity, and well-being of individuals, regardless of immigration status.
8 minutes.
I'm here today to stand in solidarity with Mayor Bass and the other local elected officials facing immigration raids and military presence in their cities. These recent events have been stressful and upsetting for many. In many challenging times, I want to reassure you, the people of Los Angeles, Southeast Los Angeles, and throughout the region, that we are your public servants, your neighbors, and your active partners, striving to maintain safe and inclusive communities. Thank you. I am now going to present
Everybody
Mayor
wants to say
Maria
something.
Davila from Southgate.
Okay, so every mayor from every elected official from every area is coming out and speaking out. And I get it. They feel some type of way what's going on. This is a very interesting situation for sure. And of course, all I say is, of course, we're going to have opposing views in the chat. Okay. We all have different opinions. We all have our thoughts on what's going on. We all have our political views. We are either for the guy or we are against the guy. And for me, I don't care if you are for the guy or not for the guy. I don't care. I want us all to live in harmony. And that's what matters the most for me personally. Okay. And so let's just try to keep it cool, keep it copacetic, keep it kind in the chat, which for the most part you guys have been. Okay. So keep like I said, you're entitled to your opinion. All I say, do it in the nicest way possible, right? Okay. But again, like I said, there's a lot going on, and to me, this is a tragic situation. I do think that it's sad because there are a lot of people. I just think about the families. I think about the families. I think about the people that are just getting stripped up from their homes instantly. It's sad. It's just sad, right? Now, whether you agree with it or not, does not mean that these people do not have the right to get out there, be angry, and protest peacefully. But let me say that again. The code word is peacefully protesting so that it doesn't turn into riots. But it has been getting crazy out here overnight. In about 5 minutes from now, curfew will be enacted. So we're going to see in LA how the people of LA, those protesters, are going to handle it. In fact, you just saw a little bit ago from one of the streams that we're looking at, they are just people are sitting there. Okay. People are literally sitting there. Hold on. I just want to show you because there's a thing going on, but I just want to show you guys really quick. Boom. I mean, you got people in the middle just sitting there. Okay. I don't know if that's all press or not, but the green hats, I think they're part of something, some sort of press maybe. But outside of that, I mean, there's a bunch of people. There's a few people in the middle. Don't know why they want to. I don't know why the people who are sitting in the middle want to risk it all, right? That's the thing was so crazy. Some people are like, just arrest me. You know what I mean? And I don't know, right? I don't know why people do that. It's like if it's 8:00, then so be it. You'll see me coming in the next day to say something. But for right now, you say 8:00, bet I will see you when I see you. You know what I mean? But we'll see how this continues because people are still marching. And I'm assuming they're marching away from the situation, from that area, right? They're marching from outside the actual perimeter that this 8 p.m. curfew has been, put on, right? They've been put on a lockdown starting at 8 p.m. in that specific area. So everybody's moving away from that, as you guys can see. That is a lot of people. And where are they going?
getting us.
We got more. People getting arrested already. Take a look at this. That part. Look at that. People are, well, it is technically 8 o'clock. It is now 8:01. 8:01 p.m. Arrests are actually happening now. Crazy. You notice everybody else is like everybody's gone. Don't worry, I'm coming back to that, but I'm just trying to show you guys like areas in which people are like actually, you know, the curfew in LA is in full effect right now as we speak. So again, it's very interesting because I'm waiting to see, you know, what's going to happen. It just looks like people just sat around waiting to get arrested, I guess, or these are just the people that they detained over this whole situation. But look at that. I mean, it's 8 o'clock. Everybody left. If you notice, that's what everybody's marching away. They're marching away from the situation, right? So you see this long line of people who are about to get on this bus. Get on the bus. They're about to get on this bus, okay? Because they were doing something dumb. And imagine the amount of paperwork, y'all. There's going to be so much paperwork for these cops. Oh, my Lord. They keep arresting all these people. This paperwork for days, guys. That part.
Walking around. You want some? I'm good, thank you. I got some in the back for when I need some. My first day out here, I didn't bring nothing. I was starving. Oh my god. And I was
I was chasing it for like 10 hours.
Tell us the stories of when you realized that you need to bring snacks on these kind of projects, on these kind of events.
We got shot with tear gas. There's tear gas, plastic.
Yeah, everybody's just kind of stuck on these people getting arrested. Yeah, everyone's showing this whole thing. People getting processed basically. I mean, this is. Well, I'm checking a few other things. Yeah, it's all this processing crap. And then here is San Antonio. San Antonio really hasn't changed much. I actually no, I take that back. I'm sticking with LA. That's a very good question, T. That's something that we haven't got. I don't know, but that's the thing. So some people look like they had some legal documentation, some IDs and whatnot, but with this situation, but some it seemed like they didn't have any IDs with them or anything of that sort. So it's going to be an interesting night for those guys, right? The ones that are getting detained. But yeah, I mean, it looks like everything's kind of slowing down, but I don't know, right? No, they're not just randomly zip tying people. I think that those are people that they arrested for either something, you know what I mean, like throwing something or just getting aggressive, or those people were sitting there at 8 p.m. and they were refusing to leave. So it's just like, okay, we're arresting you. You know, they said 8 p.m. If you're in this area, you will get arrested. So I think, as we saw in one of the videos, in one of the live feeds, there were people just sitting there going, go ahead, arrest me. Go ahead. I don't care. Arrest me because I want to be arrested for this cause. Right. So I think that's what's happening. I don't think all of them were aggressive. I do think that there was a good majority of them that just sat there and said, go ahead, arrest us. Right. Yeah, I know. You know what? Classic. You're right. Most of them will probably get released really, really fast. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? Christina, thank you so much. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much. Welcome to the family again. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, a lot of them are going to be processed and spat right back out. And then they'll be right back out there tomorrow, right? Or, you know what I mean? To fight and protest another day, right? Or to get arrested again, right? But yeah, I mean, they'll be held overnight and then the next day they'll be released. The ones that aren't putting their hands on police. If they are arrested over something, over some sort of aggressive type of thing, yeah, they might be held there a little bit longer for sure, right? But this to me just looks like people just walking. And, I honestly think that people are going to be, it's Wednesday. People are tired. It's the middle of the week. We're now going into Thursday, Friday. I think things are going to get much more volatile Friday. I think it'll be like this today. Like tonight. It'll be like this, somewhat like this tomorrow night. And then Friday night, I think it's going to be a completely different ball game because people don't have responsibilities. It's the weekend. For the most part, everyone's going to be, it's like, hey, this could be my whole night. I don't care on a Friday or Saturday night because they don't have to work in the morning, right? They don't have to go pick up the kids or do whatever. You know what I mean? It's the weekend. So maybe, this is a more subdued Wednesday, more of a subdued reaction. I mean, I'm happy about this. I'd rather see this than see what the hell is that? That is interesting. But anyway, I'd rather see peaceful protesting than chaos in the streets and things going up in flames and everything. And I think that they kind of exerted themselves over the last few days. And then I think come Friday night, it's on. It'll be on. Because most of those troublemakers that were actually arrested for doing the troublemaking over the last few days, lighting things on fire and whatnot, they're all going to be released by the weekend. So they'll be back out in the streets to cause more chaos, right? Also, it gives all the people that have been busy this whole week, that have been watching online going, hey, man, I wish I could be there because I really want my voice heard. I really want people to hear how angry I am, what's going on. This gives them an opportunity to travel, gives them an opportunity to get ready. And then on the weekend, they will have more time, right? They will have more time. So this is going to be interesting. Oh, I didn't know that, Allie. So that robot delivers and dispenses food. A bunch of them are all around Hollywood. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Well, we're learning something new every day. Are we not? Let's go over to San Antonio real quick. Let's go over to San Antonio real quick so you guys can see a little bit of that too, of what's going on over there. It's kind of the same thing. They're all just kind of standing in a circle. It's not nothing crazy going on. Okay. Nothing super crazy. You know what's interesting? Is Chicago right now in bad shape? I'm gonna have to take a look at that. But yeah, not much is going on. It's like a small group. Yes, it's a good crowd of people there in San Antonio, but I wouldn't sit there and say it's a massive crowd, right? But there are a lot of people there for sure. But it's but like I said, it's only going to brew more. Like there were protests in Chicago. There were protests in St. Louis, right? Protests in St. Louis, protests in Chicago. Then of course there was San Antonio, Dallas, LA, and New York, from what I can gather in my mind right now. Okay. Again, a lot of the places that have had just a small amount of protesting, right? I think it's only going to double in size on the weekend because people are just getting to know that it exists. They want to get involved and all that. And I don't think that these protests are going to be done. I don't think this is going to be done for a little bit. Okay. I think it's going to, I could be wrong, but I think it's going to last the week through the weekend. And then they're going to get everything out of their system over the weekend. And then I think we'll just go right back to where we were, right? Arizona's protesting as well. Thank you so much. Someone just said, Go Braves said Atlanta. Atlanta is too? I didn't hear about that. But let me see. Chicago. They were protesting yesterday, but I haven't heard anything about protests in Chicago, but I guess it is going on. Let's take a look at this. This is in Chicago currently. I'm assuming it's currently. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Yeah, because they're saying all these protests were happening yesterday in Chicago. I don't know if that was very well put together. So I don't know if those protests are actually currently happening in Chicago right now. But they could start up again tomorrow. Like I said, it can definitely come up all over again tomorrow. Let's see. But yeah. Let's take a look at what Fox is showing here. Let's take a look.
A number of people already detained tonight, being placed in those flexi cuffs, those zip tie looking handcuffs. I'm gonna listen into the audio here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can see or hear from this shot right now.
Nothing going on.
Let's go back out to our partners, Fox 11 Los Angeles. More of their reporting. This is live.
And we are coordinating home deliveries so everyone has access. So please feel free to reach out for our services.
Veronica McDonald is with the Community Investment for Families, but also there were representatives from the LA Regional Food Bank, the American Red Cross, YMCA, and Students Run LA. It's all about offering help and resources to the most vulnerable population. To find one of the 19 family resource centers, go to the Civil and Human Rights.
Okay, that was a quick left turn there. But yeah, a lot of these are the same crap, which is kind of annoying. Hold on. Just showing you guys people getting processed or, about to go on to the bus. That's it. I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night, to be honest, because, there's a long day tomorrow with the Diddy trial and all that. And then once it's over, if there are protests and all that going on, most likely I'll be covering that in the afternoon. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night. Again, thank God it was, it has subsided quickly. But again, the night is still very, very young. Okay. The night is still very, very young. There's still more, I'm sure, that's going to be going on tonight. And of course, if there's anything happening, if I'm around to find out or see it for myself, I might hop back on. But for the most part, we are done for tonight, or we're done for the day. I am still debating on whether I'm going to be on at noon tomorrow Central Standard Time or around 10-ish in the morning tomorrow. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, but I will let you guys know for sure. I just haven't made a decision yet. I'm pretty tired, so I'm trying to debate on if I'm going to get up early or get an opportunity to try to get some rest. So I will let you guys know for sure. You'll see an alert about that very, very shortly. Okay. But for right now, I don't know. I'm going to gauge how I feel after I get done with this show. So that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, I'll keep an eye on this and see what's really going down. I'm sure there's going to be more that's going to be popping off here in a little bit. So be on the lookout for it. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, most likely. So in the meantime, please hit that like button down below before you head out. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe here. Subscribe over to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, hit that join button down below. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. All right. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. All right. I will see you guys very, very soon. Have a great one. I'll talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.